Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Think Different podcast. And that means it's time for the only Apple Retail podcast with two former Apple Retail employees with 20 years of combined experience. My name is Will. I am the TLD. And for those who don't know, that is my pro wrestling name, and I am a former Apple specialist, creative, and genius. Along with me every single week is the former Apple creative, the Keto Trout drummer himself, Mr. Frank Funk.
Hey, what's up, Will?
How's that? I am good, man. I have my new Lemon Lime Zevia, not sponsored, of course, as we are not sponsored every week by them. But if you want something that tastes like Sprite, this is it.
That's it, huh?
That is it. My boy is now 6 months old. He is doing terrific. He is surpassing everything. You know, it's been really great having a kid. Now the summertime is here. Vaccination is going great right now. I mean, I can go anywhere without wearing a mask. It is starting to feel like, you know, what it felt like 2 years ago, except I have a son this time. That's the only difference.
Yeah. Well,
this podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Whether you love true crime or comedies, celebrity interviews, news, or even motivational speakers, you call the shots on what's in your podcast queue, right? And guess what? Now you can call the shots on your auto insurance, too. Enter the Name Your Price tool from Progressive. The Name Your Price tool puts you in charge of your auto insurance by working just the way it sounds. You tell Progressive how much you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll show you a variety of coverages that fit within your budget, giving you options. Now that's something you'll want to press play on. It's easy to start a quote, and you'll be able to choose from the best options for you fast. It's one of the many ways you can save with Progressive Insurance. Quote today at Progressive.com to try the new Name Your Price tool for yourself and join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
We still have people around here driving around with nobody in the car but them and their mask on.
Yeah, it makes totally no sense.
Yeah, I know.
Like, at all.
Hey, they want to feel secure.
Hey, speaking of security, we have to talk about some hidden WWDC features. I figure until iOS 15 and macOS officially come out, why don't we talk about one thing that is happening in each operating system that is something that they didn't talk about. And this is something that we kind of brought up last time, but I wanted to kind of dive into it. And this was that iOS 15 will allow you to request refunds within app purchases directly in apps. Because how many times did your kids go on your iPhone and buy something that you didn't let them do that, and now you could actually allow them to do a refund within 48 hours of that happening?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, you know, usually when that happens, the parent gives the password to the child,
right.
Which, you know, I don't know.
Which family sharing has solved for years, might I add.
Yes. And they still don't want to get on board with it.
Nope.
These safeguards are in place, but this is just another one, like you pointed out, where if something does happen in error, you can request right from the app a refund. Right. I'm sure you have to give some sort of explanation, but you know.
Well, there's a couple of check boxes that they show as an example. So it said, I didn't mean to buy this. A child minor made the purchase without my permission. My purchase does not work as expected. Purchase not received. And there's an other. So there's already like pretty much the main things that people accidentally buy stuff for.
Right.
Is right there.
Yeah. So that's going to be, I think that's a lot of people will really utilize that in
absolutely
any particular app. So although I don't know that it's offered in every app, but the API is available to the manufacturer, so they can add it to the app.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of this is something very interesting. Now, anytime that your Mac, anytime that you're going to be reformatting it, you always have to erase and you have to reinstall the OS. Yes. That's been happening forever. Well, one thing that wasn't mentioned is that there is now a new feature that is following the same footsteps. Because remember, iPhones and iPads, the OS is never erased. It's only the data is erased. Well, yes. They're following that with the Mac. So there's an option that allows you to erase all the user data and user-installed apps from the Mac without needing to reinstall macOS operating system, making it so much easier to do, which is awesome. Now, I believe this has to do with a Apple Silicon or a T2 chip that has to allow that to happen. So I don't know if it's going to be allowed for everybody.
Right,
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, that I guess that remains to be seen, but this is going to be a really, really wonderful feature because,
Yes.
you know, you're going to be able to, like you said, erase everything without erasing the data, not erasing the operating system. So this is going to be very helpful for people that are trading their machines in, stuff like that. It's going to be really nice.
There's a lot of less steps. In fact, all you have to do is go to System Preferences in the menu bar and then click Erase All Content and Settings in the drop-down menu. Of course, an admin password is required to do that, but that will restore the Mac back to factory settings, which is great because normally you have to go to recovery mode and you have to erase. You have to do it all through there. You have to first erase the data, then you have to do a reinstall. It definitely has a lot of steps to it. This is so much easier.
Yes,
and
but
just to let you know, I was going to just point out one more thing before you get to your point. Erasing a Mac under an earlier version of macOS still requires the formatting of the startup disk and reinstalling the macOS. So this is so much more convenient for that. And after Monterey is going to change that whole experience around.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is just another case where knowing your administrative password is paramount.
Yes, it is.
So,
that is
now,
a fact, sir.
For those of you who are new to the Apple operating systems, remember your Mac administrative password may not be the same as your Apple ID password. They are separate and distinct. So
sometimes
keep that in mind. Sometimes they can be the same. But
if you're a new Apple ID user, typically that is connected now. There's really no separation. But being an older one like me and you, yes, there is a separation. However, one feature is if you are using File Vault and you're using your Apple ID, typically those are connected. So just remember that. So yeah, just be very aware of knowing your Apple ID password and knowing your admin password. It's a very, very good point. But there's a lot of great crime that happened out in this world of Apple. So I know you love your Apple crime there, Frank.
Apple crime, geez, that's what a term.
Yep. So Apple Insider likes to put out almost like they like to put out a weekly Apple crime blotter, almost like they like to talk about different things that are going on in the world that were related to Apple.
Yeah.
So one that was very interesting is that a school official was fired for selling district-owned iPads out of his truck. A Texas man has been fired from his job as a chief of technology and innovation for a local district after he was caught selling district-owned iPads.
Now, this is, this is a district chief of technology. Now, I dare say the salary for that particular job is probably nothing to sneeze at. Something you or I would like, well, yeah, I'll take that job. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it's probably not like you're probably not making tons of cash here. I mean,
but more than what's he making now, besides license plates?
Nothing. Not much now.
I mean, come on. This is definitely. What are you thinking? How much could you possibly be making by selling these and thinking you're not going to get caught?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in fact, he was selling these on Facebook Marketplace, which is number one, probably the worst spot you could do it. Especially, and then someone purchased multiple iPads for him, realizing that he looked up his name and realized he worked for the school district, and then they discovered a video of a school board meeting which the same man had recommended the district to spend $483,000 on an iPad and other equipment. That's crazy, right? But yeah. Also, you love listening to Akon, right? Akon's like one of your favorite people to listen to.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, Akon had his SUV stolen while pumping gas at Atlantic gas station, but the car was tracked down thanks to Find My iPhone. They recovered the automobile about 20 miles away. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
This is why. And now Apple tags could kind of help with that too.
Yeah. There's I remember when I was working in the store, several people had come in and said that a woman pocketbook was stolen at a gas station, and they called the police, and the officer, being familiar with the Apple technology, asked the woman to sign in on his phone through Find My Phone with her Apple ID, and they tracked them down and arrested them all for theft and everything. So, Find My Phone has a lot of useful purposes, and this is just another example of that.
Now, another common thing I've been noticing a lot is there are always it seems like a lot of shootings right by Apple stores. Actually, one in Pittsburgh just happened. Someone was getting their MacBook repaired, and they heard these shots, and Apple Store employees told the customers to run. And it turns out, there was a fight, and shots were fired around at Apple Store in Pittsburgh. There was one also at the Aventura Mall in Florida. Pretty crazy. Crazy stuff, man. But it's just a couple of crime stories. Apple Insider does a really good job of talking about some of these great stories.
Yeah.
But some very upset Apple customers right now because there's some crooked stands out there. Apparently, this new iMac is being shipped with a crooked stand. Someone actually, iPhoneendo is like a YouTuber. He literally took a ruler and went to each end and noticed that the ruler is offset just a tiny bit. There was one side that was 7.6 centimeters, while the other side was 8. So there's a crookedness to the iMac. And so it was a pretty big YouTube video, and he returned it. I hope so, yeah. But apparently he's not going to be the only one. There's apparently a ton of people that are having this problem. I wouldn't say a ton. Let's go with that. Maybe a ton is maybe dozens are having this problem. And, of course, you have a 14-day return policy to return it. I don't think they acknowledge the issue yet. Or if they have, I know you can obviously get it repaired. But I would hope Apple is allowing after the 14-day return policy. I'm going to let you know a little secret. They absolutely can.
Yeah.
With a manager discretion.
Yep. Yeah, I think this is something that, I'm sure they're going to jump on their quality control team and find out what the heck's going on here.
Yep,
and
that's what quality programs are for. In fact, that's a great point, Frank, because whenever we get a Mac back that's damaged, we go through a quality program that we submit to Apple. We take the Mac, we fill out this whole sheet of quality report of what they diagnose as the issue, and they send it to Apple, and this is how they come out with either fixes, firmware updates, or in this case, hardware-wise, they have to double-check their repair.
Now, what do you think? They're just replacing this, or do you think they're actually
they're replacing them? They're replacing. It's too new. I mean, you got to think of it right now. To buy an iMac, you're waiting 4 weeks right now just to get an iMac.
Yeah, that's true.
Shortage going on. So, I honestly think triple check, even though it's from Apple, and normally we don't have these kind of problems. Just check that little thing out with your M1 Mac. That's important.
Yeah, sure is.
Yep. And then our favorite season is back for those who are students. They have announced the launch of the Back to School program.
Here you go. School barely ended, and it's back to school again.
That's right. So they are the Back to School program launched June 17th. Of course, the last few years they have done free AirPods as their go-to, and that is the same thing they did this year. They're offering free AirPods along with the purchase of a MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, the new 24-inch iMac, the Mac Pro, and the Mac Mini. So that's new because the Mac Mini typically was not on this list.
Yeah.
If you remember that. So pretty much any Apple computer you buy now, as long as you're a qualifying student and educator, you get free AirPods and 20% off Apple Care Plus.
Yeah. Now, if you want to upgrade to the AirPods Pro, you can do that for $90, which that's a pretty good deal.
Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, the rumors are coming around now that new AirPods are coming out very soon.
Yep. Yep.
I don't know. Yeah.
But even at $90, that's still a good deal. You could buy them and resell them for more than that, which is what a lot of people do.
That is true. I don't see when this program is ending. That is one thing I do not see. So it's usually around the September time.
Yeah, it's usually
Definitely
around
before-
the 15th or somewhere in there.
Yeah, I'm looking around.
September.
I'm actually trying on their website right now. I do not even see an ending date on this. So it's got to be soon. It's got to be sometime in September. Remember, also I believe you also get, an Apple Student Music Plan. There's an option to do that.
Yep.
Apple TV for free, of course, is something you get as well. So the music student discounts, I believe, $4.99. So there's
Yes,
a lot of good
that's
discounts
correct.
for it. Now, also, which I didn't even know this existed, but you can get all of the Apple Pro apps for $200. That includes Final Cut Pro, Logic, Motion Compressor, and MainStage.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was an option.
I didn't either. But
Yes.
that's Logic alone. If you buy that, that's more than $200.
Absolutely. Final Cut alone is $300.
Yeah.
So that's a great deal. So if you are a student and you need to get Final Cut, just get the Pro Apps bundle. Even if you're not going to use Logic or Motion, you're definitely going to probably use Compressor. But I would absolutely get that. That's a great deal. I wish I had that when I was going to school.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, Final Cut Pro was really cheap. I remember the whole package was like a $1,200 package, and it went down to like $400, something like that, as a student version.
Well, this price is actually less than what they used to sell Microsoft Office for.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That is a fact, sir. That is a fact. Now, I wanted to share one last thing today, which was the Apple Store has now launched their new store in L.A. Now, you have some history apparently around the store, Frank. You know a little bit about the Tower Theater.
Tower Theater, yeah. This is, again, we've talked about this several times. This is a historic building. I mean, if you look at this article, it shows before and after pictures. I mean, this theater was just a landmark in LA. And what Apple has done to this, they've kept the integrity of the theater itself, and they've it looks like they've, gold and gilt, and it's beautiful. I mean, what they've done to this is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, what I want to do is I want to show the preview of it. So if you're on our YouTube channel, you can check this out right now. I'm going to share my screen and show you the Apple Store in there. So let me get out of Escape here. Let's go full screen. Boom, boom, boom.
You have beautiful chandeliers, stained glass windows, Italian marble columns, red carpet staircase. I mean, it's just stunning.
I mean, it's a beautiful store.
Yes.
I like they still kept like the letters on the outside.
Yeah, the marquee. Yep.
And that chandelier you talked about. Look at that. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
The clearness in the roof, like the detail in the gold and the yellow, and the white. It's amazing.
I mean, this reminds me a lot of what they did in New York in the train station. I mean, this is just, look at what these guys are. I mean, this is, you
Not
can't get any
necessary
more
at all.
detailed than this.
No. It's a beautiful store. It's like, they really restored it. And then it looks amazing at night when they show the night shot. And then they have like the seating on the top there where you can go up there. Like you can see the screen down on the bottom. The Genius Bar's on the top level there, which is cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's where you want to go. That's where you want to be a creative.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yep. Yeah, that is
Beautiful.
one beautiful store. I thought the one that we showed where it was floating in the bay there.
Yeah.
In, I guess Hong Kong or Singapore, I forget which one it is, but I thought that was nice. This is amazing. Again, just another example of how, Apple has tons of cash, but they're spending it on refurbishing landmarks throughout the country.
Yeah, this is truly, I think, a beautiful designed architecture. Like, and then, again, Apple's taking architecture that exists and they're just refurbishing it and making really amazing stores. Now, as of today of the recording, this is Thursday, they opened the store today at 10 a.m. So I was watching a couple of people going through it already. It's really, if you get a chance to go out there, I would absolutely take a look at the store and definitely be a part of the Today at Apple sessions that they do.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what's going on in the world. We wanted to take a bunch of different news articles and just kind of put them all together in one thing. But we do want you to go check out our YouTube channel. Check out all of the great trading videos that we have done. Frank made a great numbers video. I have a great pages video. And I think it came out very well. It's very successful. So check out our YouTube channel for some of those exclusive videos that we do there. Of course, we do our podcast every other Friday here on our channel. And we are at episode 91, getting ready for the big 100 episode, which will be exciting to do.
Yeah. I'll have to do something special, huh?
I don't know. What are you going to do, Frank? Are you going to do a live drumming performance?
Yeah, there you go.
And I'll sing. Okay?
Oh, there you go.
I'll sing. That's important. Well, that's our show for today, guys. It's a little quicker than our normal other episodes, only because I'm recording this a little late, and I'm in the middle of a work day. And we want to thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please leave us a review if you can on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Podcast, whatever Apple wants to call it. Just leave a damn review there. And we appreciate every single one of you coming out every single week. We will be back here in 2 weeks. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. And everybody knows that I love every single one of you.
Take care, guys.